Hey, I'm James from J Technology, and we are back here at CES 2017 at the Las Vegas Convention Center. And we have a special guest with us today, Charles Zablan, and he is the CTO and co-founder of the International Drone Racing Association. He is also the CEO of FPV Aces. Charles?
Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you for coming out. So what basically brings you out here at CES 2017?
IDRA is all about the cutting edge of technology, and so we try to attend CES every single year so that we can see what's out there and what technologies we can bring into drone racing.
Okay, so let's actually back up. So basically, how did you get into drone racing, or how did you get into the International Drone Racing Association? How did that come about?
I actually started out as a photographer, so I worked for film and TV doing behind the scenes and B-roll work.
Okay.
I got introduced to aerial cinematography and I absolutely fell in love with it. When I was a kid, I loved RC stuff. Anything remote control, I was just so fascinated by it.
I think all of us as kids were, were fascinated by that.
Yeah, and now you're merging both of my passions together. You have the creativity that comes with photography and the feeling of flight that comes with the drones, and I was instantly hooked, and I was using that platform for film and TV.
Okay.
Through almost 3 years ago now, I found this video on YouTube that was going viral, and it was the guys from Argonne. Argonne is a group of guys in Argonne, France, that started racing in the forest. There's also a guy named Juice 70 from Australia. I was just so fascinated by how these guys are flying their drones. I've never seen a drone maneuver like that. I'm used to having a really steady drone, filming things and stuff like that. And these guys were maneuvering their drones at over 60 miles an hour. And I was like, what in the world is that? So my father-in-law and I bought our first racing drone a couple months later, and I was hooked. I was like, there's something here. We started FPV Aces as an online retail shop, and we're like, we want to start selling this stuff. A guy by the name of Justin Haggerty, who is now my partner, approached me online and said, would you like to start a drone race in California?
Okay.
And I said, yes, absolutely, let's do it. That became the early beginnings of IDRA.
Wow.
So between Justin and I and a former business partner, we built this entity that is kind of growing and evolving so quickly.
Okay, so are you the biggest international drone racing association in the U.S., or are there others?
There are others now.
Okay.
And with the IDRA, we're mainly focused on growing it globally.
Okay.
We're not just a U.S.-based company.
Got it.
And so if you see our events, it's going to be worldwide.
Yeah, I was reading about the World Drone Grand Prix, or World Drone Prix.
Yeah.
And how did you get involved in that?
That was a crazy and funny story.
Okay.
We received an email from a guy in Dubai that says that he works at the Prime Minister's office. You know, you get emails like that, and you're like, okay, Nigerian prince.
Correct.
I'm not giving you anything.
Right.
But it took a couple weeks. But 2 weeks later, we have tickets to go to Dubai to meet the representative.
But how did they find you? I mean, how did
our website? They knew about our events. We were in the middle of finishing the California Cup, which was our very first race series, and a week before our championship, they flew us to Dubai. And I was actually really weary about it. I was like, well, Justin, you go first. You're in the army, so if they kidnap you,
you're prepared.
We can arrange you to be extracted from the Middle East. And this is all like the misconceptions that we had about the Middle East. And so we ended up flying there, and we were just amazed. They took us to essentially their White House, which was the Prime Minister's Tower, and asked us to dream what a World Grand Prix of drone racing would look like. And we basically had a round table and we listed out all our dreams.
Wow.
And they said, okay, let's work together to bring this forward. And then now we have the World Grand Prix that happened last March.
And that was the very first time.
That was the very first time, yes.
How many people actually came out to that?
We had about 3,000 people that
That
attended.
for the first time.
Yeah, for the first time. It was such a beautiful venue. It was at Skydive Dubai.
Okay.
You know, you had skydivers.
Yes, where
circling
that tall building they have out
around
there.
it. Yeah, and you know, you got the backdrop of Dubai, which was just perfect, especially at night. You know?
Nice. So, what other races do you have coming up, especially here in the U.S.?
So here in the U.S., we have one that's going to be a part of the World Series.
Okay.
We haven't finalized the location yet. It's going to be around May or June.
Okay.
And then we have a six-city tour globally that includes China, Lisbon, the U.S., among others like Sochi,
Okay.
South Korea, and Portugal. Did I say Portugal? Anyway, but we're planning on touring for 2017, and on top of that, we are holding the Challengers Cup, which we are opening up to all race organizers all over the world, and our goal is to find who the next top pilots are.
Wow.
Yeah, and so they're going to be competing for our newest ranking system. And now we're going to open it globally. So any race organizer out there, we invite you to participate in the Challengers
Hear
Cup.
that.
Yeah.
So this must be amazing. I mean, it's like, in a way, you're the trend center for this drone racing.
Yes.
So those are all would those all be the 2017 races that are coming up?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we're really excited about it. You know that.
So people want to find out more about the International Drone Racing Association. What is the website?
So if you would like to have more information, contact us at idra.co.
Okay, and then your retail business on the FPV Aces.
Yeah, and if anybody out there is interested in getting started, today Cameraman just released the Connect Falcor,
Okay.
which is a ready-to-fly HD drone. You know, the HD is a huge thing for racing because we've been kind of using old analog systems that are really fuzzy and stuff. And
Right.
Cameraman, which is a leader in movie industry, TV, and HD transmission, created this ready-to-fly drone that is now available at fpvaces.com.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So if somebody watching now wants to get into drone racing, what do you recommend, or how should they start, or what should they look at?
Yeah, I definitely recommend looking up a local group that is constantly racing or flying freestyle. Freestyle is also a big thing. You know, a lot of people would prefer to do their own thing rather than competing racing.
Right.
And there's a lot of groups out there. You know, I encourage you guys to join a local group, and also check out the website. You know, when you're interested in getting started, we definitely have everything you'll need.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for your time, Charles.
Thank you so much for having me here.